The Center for Energy Studies at Louisiana State University is Louisiana's premier energy research center. Established in 1982 by the state legislature, the center addresses energy-related issues affecting Louisiana's economy, industry, and environment. The center houses the award-winning Louisiana Geological Survey, the LSU Radiation Safety Office, and the Minerals Processing Research Division. Since the mid-1990s, the center has produced significant studies on the history, performance, and socioeconomic impacts of the offshore oil and gas industry. The majority of the center's projects have been funded through the Coastal Marine Institute, or CMI, a funding program created in 1992 by the Department of the Interior's Bureau of Ocean Energy Management. The cooperative agreement between LSU, the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, and the state of Louisiana has strengthened over time, and the CMI investments have been lucrative, providing essential knowledge and tools for the energy industry, policymakers, and citizens of the state. During the 1990s, major oil companies were moving outside of the United States.
The independent producers, which we classify in these studies as large and small independents, were taking more activities, and there were apprehensions as to the possibility of accidents rising as a result of these new players in the Gulf of Mexico. What we did was to try to compare the performance in terms of accidents and spills of those group of players with the major international oil and gas producers.
The center's analysis indicated that during the 1987 to 1993 study period, independent companies of all sizes had a better safety record than major companies.
A study on safety and environmental risk really demonstrates the consciousness of independence to actually produce oil and gas in the deep water in a safe manner. So this type of studies literally solidifies the policy making process and how it affects the economy of the region.
The CMI-funded infrastructure project has provided valuable information on the oil and gas industry infrastructure along the Gulf Coast.
That piece of research was a very important and timely piece of funded research through the CMI program, because it helped to examine and identify the impacts that the hurricanes had in 2005 on critical energy infrastructure along the Gulf Coast. And we were certainly the bridge through that funded process of communicating that information and developing it and putting it into this fact book across a wide range of different infrastructure categories. We were able to respond directly to state stakeholders and other members of the public, the news media and others, with responses on how the hurricanes were impacting that infrastructure, because we had had the CMI funding ahead of time to look at these issues before we ever knew that they would be an issue.
In 2008, this 6-volume publication won the U.S. Department of the Interior's Award for Cooperative Conservation, which recognizes achievements in collaboration between government, private institutions, and the public.
Well, it was a collaborative project between LSU, the University of Houston, and the University of Arizona. At LSU, we did sort of comparative regional economic analysis to try and see what difference the oil and gas industry made to coastal Louisiana in particular. The offshore activity, which started really shortly after World War II, and a lot of the people that were involved were people that were coming back into the civilian labor force. For them, it was a big improvement in their life. These people said from a personal standpoint, it was a big plus, a game changer for their economic circumstances.
The resulting collection of interviews and the photographs donated by these pioneers are archived at LSU and are available online through the CES website. In 2007, the CMI requested that the Center for Energy Studies quantify the amount of idle iron in the Gulf of Mexico.
The study was the first of its kind to quantify the idle inventory in the Gulf of Mexico. Those are structures that haven't produced, say, for the last 5 years or for the last 10 years, and to model the regulatory policies to manage that inventory. The study provided guidance to the Bureau of Ocean Energy in its rulemaking procedures in 2010. The government passed regulation to remove the idle iron. So in the next 3 to 5 years, there won't be as much idle stuff in the Gulf of Mexico.
As exploration continues along the outer continental shelf and into the deepwater Gulf, the work of the Center for Energy Studies will continue to allow us to understand the changing landscape and structures in the Gulf of Mexico, and will ensure the longevity of our nation's energy corridor and the livelihoods and safety of its citizens.